Welcome to my lightning talk on war photography. Let's begin with Ken Jarenki, who photographed an Iraqi man burned alive. He thought it would change the way Americans saw the Gulf War, but the media wouldn't run the picture. However, on the picture he inscribed, "If I don't photograph this, people like my mom will think war is what they see on TV." Beginning with the invention of the camera in 1839, the camera followed death and destruction everywhere, to the extent that it became true: there is no war without photography. Early photography, however, was limited by the immobility of the camera, so that photojournalists could only show photos of the scenes before and the aftermath of battles, often posed to send a message. By the 1930s, however, as technology evolved, cameras could go anywhere. Thus the governments, even the democratic ones of the West, began to censor what could be shown, and photos were staged or altered to suit the propaganda of the time. Consider Robert Capa's death of a Loyalist soldier during the Spanish Civil War. It was the first time an image showed the precise moment of death during the war. Capa considered it the best picture he ever took. However, that was followed by great controversy. We see in World War II that the camera got closer and closer to the battlefield and the struggle of the soldiers. Moving forward to the end of the war in 1945, it took some time for the horrific impact of the atomic bomb to be known, because the only image was a mushroom cloud. A year later, in August 1946, the New Yorker published John Hershey's detailed account to wake people up. And so we see the media's influence, making war attractive, bringing it into our homes, making it comfortable to live with. Vietnam was the turning point. Censorship was relaxed, and photojournalism brought about true change in the public's view of the war. The war was in our living rooms nightly on TV, and that tele-intimacy changed public opinion. For photographs to alter conduct, they must shock, and shock they did. Post-Vietnam, new military rules were put in place, creating a fence around photojournalists and limiting what they could access. They could not photograph dead Americans or injured Americans, or even Americans in caskets. That brings us to the present, where war is pictured as sterile, carried out through smart bombs with such precision that it is clean with no bloodshed. I ask, really? Remembering, in war the photographer is the silent witness. With all the new censorship rules in place, images of dead and wounded Americans all but disappeared from news pages in the United States. The effect of these restrictions was to cast a sanitized gloss over the war in Iraq, to help deprive the American people of a fuller knowledge of the realities of war that their fellow citizens were fighting, leading to the conclusion that Americans do not die in our wars. How can we make decisions on war when we do not know the reality, the impact on both the enemy as well as our soldiers?